amazing. So this is your girl, Dr. Melissa J. Williams. Live your best life doing what you love. I actually love government contracting. And what I've found over the 33 years that I've actually been in this game is that success is a system and government contracting is a system. And it's so many ways that you can be successful in this day and time. And I actually have started over the last, I'm going to say not started, but just continued over the last maybe 5 years now to teach government contracting. And so I teach local, state, and federal contracting. I teach business owners how to grow and scale their business with government contracting. And so I'm super excited, guys. Today we're just going to be talking about the opportunities that are all around you. So if you guys are new, thank you so much for joining. Hey, Douglas. Good morning. I love Mondays. A lot of people hate Mondays, but I love Mondays. I've already got into school, posted in school. I've already made my live on TikTok, and now I'm making my live on YouTube. So I love Mondays. I'm actually still hanging out in Arizona, and I actually came down here. I flew down here because I had one of my students who's in cybersecurity to win a $380,000 contract. And it's so funny. I told him, I said, hey, you win a contract, right? I'm gonna fly to Arizona because I have never been to Arizona before. I'm gonna fly down here and I'm gonna actually meet you and take you to lunch. And so, sure enough, he actually won a contract. And I said, I don't believe you. Send me the receipts. And he sent me the receipts, and I was like, okay, bet. Hopping on a plane. And so I've been in Arizona for the weekend and hanging out with him and another student. So again, super excited. I actually was able to bring my family as well. So we all came down here for a weekend in Arizona. Arizona is so beautiful. I wish you guys had told me it's hot. It's hot. It was actually like the day before we came, it was 107. And when we got here, it was 105. So, but Arizona is very, very pretty. But today I want to talk to you guys about um, contracting opportunities. Like, nothing is hard if you understand it. Nothing is hard when you understand it. And so I started, like I said, 33 years ago. And if you haven't read my book, The $1 Trillion Client: How to Grow and Scale Your Business with Government Contracting. Hello, hi, hello, Kate, hello. If you've not read the book, it's my story, guys. It tells you how I was a vice president at a private university here in Atlanta, and how I ended up working on a contract while I was still there, and I won a contract. And after I won a contract, guys, I've never looked back, because while you make a lot of money, for sure, as a administration, in corporate America, and especially as a vice president of a campus, right? You have to work 365 days in order to win that, to make that money. And so I'm trying not to look at the chats and talk to you and tell you guys my story. So anyway, thank you guys so much. So as you guys are coming in, what I'm learning about all social media is that social media is engagement. And the reason that people take their time to teach courses and teach information is because they want the engagement, right? I'm, again, on all of the social medias, and I like it when you guys join, and I love it when you guys engage. So if you're new and you're coming in, please, guys, always give the video a thumbs up. So that's the first thing that you want to do, is you want to give it thank you. Thank you. Give it a thumbs up. And also when you join, say hello, and if you have a question about government contracting, ask that. Because when you guys engage, it helps me to know that you guys are interested in the topic, right? And also, when you put comments, it helps me to teach on what you're stuck on. Because, again, success is a system, government contracting is a system. You don't know what you don't know. And I always tell my students, and you guys have heard this before, there's no stupid question, right? There's no stupid question. So, always when you're coming in, guys, make sure you're engaging. And that's on every platform. I recently joined TikTok, I don't know, maybe a month ago. And then I was hung around. I was stuck at like 200. I ended up getting a coach. I get coaches too, and I got a coach, and in like 4 days, I hit over 1,000 subscribers. And you guys know, each platform that you're on, in order to get monetized, you have to what? Hit a milestone. So for TikTok, it was hitting 1,000 subscribers, and then you're able to what? Start to get monetized. So what I find is that it's important for content creators to get engagements. It's important for you guys to come in the room, say hello, like the video, give it a thumbs up, right? Make a comment. It helps creators to continue to do what they do, right? And so again, super excited down here in Arizona. If you guys are new, and one of my students actually was in cybersecurity, or is in cybersecurity, he actually won a contract, and so came down here to hang out with him and to give him kudos and share in his success. And so one of the things, guys, that's really, really amazing is that hello, is that government contracting is, to me, the easiest way to grow and scale your business, right? So if you guys are new, go ahead and give this video a thumbs up. I see people are in the room. Go ahead and give the video a thumbs up. When you do that, guys, it helps the algorithm, right? So like I said, I am a researcher, and what I do is I like loved trying to understand how things work. I don't know if you're like me. And so understanding how success works, understanding how people get wealthy. Hello. Right, exactly. So understanding how the wealth game works, right? A lot of people say it's not all about money. It is not all about money. But what I've found over my years of actually being an entrepreneur and actually being around is that money actually helps things to be a lot smoother, right? So when you encounter a situation or an emergency, if you have money, it's easier for you to navigate than when you don't. And so again, my journey has been the journey of entrepreneurship, and I've specialized in government contracting. All right. And so what I'm teaching is I'm teaching people how to what? Grow and scale their business with government contracting. So if you guys can imagine winning just one government contract, and just say that government contract is 58,000, right? Because that was my first contract, 58,000. Because a lot of people be like, "Oh my God, I think it's too hard," but it took me 3 days to do a $58,000 contract on process improvement with the DoD. And so, with that being said, like a lot of people work 365 days out of a year, and they don't make 300. They don't make $58,000. So 365 days a year, and they don't make $58,000. So imagine winning one contract, what that did for me and what that could do for you. And that was the smallest contract that I've ever won. So when I talk to you guys about government contracting, I actually am still in government contracting because it is truly the easiest thing to do. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. It is the easiest thing to do. It's the easiest way to stabilize your business. So when you're thinking about what to do if you're a new entrepreneur, like if you haven't even started your business and you're thinking about what you do, everything in life is a system, right? And so you have to determine where you want to be. And I always encourage people, right? I always encourage people to do or start a business that they love. Like start a business that you love. Start a business that if you for 6 months didn't make any money, you could do it and you would love it and you would not get bored. Again, thank you guys so much for joining in the room. Thank you guys so much for giving this video a thumbs up. It's always helpful. As you guys understand, as you're engaging in social media, there's algorithms, right? And there's metrics. And when people come and when they engage and when they like and when they share, it helps the content to get pushed out to more people. So one of the things that I do is I always encourage people and teach people not only about government contracting, but also how to help me and to help others to get what they need. So Douglas says, do I need a DBE certification to get a big contract? You don't. You do not. My student out here in Arizona, he didn't have any certifications. Still doesn't have any certifications. He is now going to be working on getting certified as a DBE Why? Because he wants to do work with the Department of Transportation. But you don't need any certification, guys. A lot of people ask me, well, is certification still relevant, right? Because they closed down DEI. If you guys haven't heard about that, that's diversity, equity, inclusion, right? So basically, that's just saying that there's no opportunities or mandate by the federal government for businesses to do to have minority programs in place at their agency. But are they still buying from women-owned businesses? Yes. Are they still buying from DBEs, disadvantaged business enterprises? Yes. Are they still buying from hub zone businesses? Yes. Are they still buying from 8A? Yes. Are they still buying from service disabled veteran business? Yes. But you don't need a certification in order to win. All right, certifications is still a nice thing. We also help you in our community to get certified, right? And actually, it's so funny because more students now are becoming certified than before. Being in business for like 33 years, I don't know how many administrations I've gone through, right? I'm going to count them up and make sure I'm right. But let's just say all of the presidents have been in business for 4 years. I've gone through at least, what, eight presidents. All right, so let's just say if they had two two terms, then let's just say 6 or 7. So I've gone through 6 or 7 presidents in my career as an entrepreneur, right? And what I've seen, thank you so much, Douglas. And Douglas, he's in my school community. So as you guys are coming in, and if you guys are new, welcome and thank you so much for your support. I truly love it and I truly appreciate it. I love government contracting, guys. And when you hear me say live your best life doing what you love, you always will hear me say I love government contracting. So I trademarked that term, I don't know, at this point, maybe 6 or 7 years ago, because it's important to find your passion. It's important to find your passion because we know that I did a video on TikTok the other day. If you guys are not following me, go over there and follow me, right? TikTok is something, I actually did a live earlier this morning. Um, and because I've been in Arizona all weekend, hanging out down here with students that are crushing it, right? Crushing it in a big time way. Like your first contract be $380,000. Like, ooh, that's huge, right? That's huge in cybersecurity. So but what I would tell you guys, if you guys are not in school and you're wanting to learn more about government contracting, you can almost find me in any of the social media platforms. But where I hang out the most is going to be school because I'm there every single day. Also, you'll find me now more and more in TikTok because it was really, really easy for me to grow a following. And I've got now over 1,000 people. I think I'm knocking at maybe 1,100 people. And I did it in less than a month. So I was stuck at like 200. And then I got a mentor, I got a coach. It's a real thing. Get a coach when you learn something and you don't know it. You have to invest in yourself, right? Sometimes that investment is very small and sometimes it's very large. For me, investing in my coach, it was not a huge investment, but I did know that it was something that I didn't know and it was something that I needed to learn. And so I invested in a coach to learn. And so in 4 days after getting a coach, I was able to get over 1,000 subscribers on TikTok. And once you hit over 1,000 subscribers on TikTok, then you're monetized. A little more difficult on YouTube, right? So you have to get 1,000 subscribers and then you have to get 4,000 watch hours. But anything that you set your heart to and your mind to, you can do it. And especially if you're passionate, like I am, about teaching. I am that person that if I know something that can help somebody make their life easier, I'm going to share it with you. I'm not that person, and we talked about this, me and my kids, because they came down here with me. I'm not that person that's going to see you struggling and I'm just going to look at you and I'm not going to try to help you. If I see you doing it the hard way and I know an easier way, I'm going to teach you. I believe that entrepreneurs should have multiple streams of income. You guys know that. That's like business 101. We also know if we're in business, we also know about vertical integration. And vertical integration is making sure that whatever you're doing, right, you look for those multiple streams that integrate with what you're doing, right? So if, for example, you are a project manager, right, you want to maybe look for projects, program managers. You might want to program manage contracts. You might also want to look for Six Sigma. If you're in energy management like me, and I was in energy management, I still am for the 33 years. Energy management, we do electrical retrofit, we do EV charging stations, we do solar panel install. So all of those sectors are vertical integration. So oftentimes what we'll do is we'll have somebody say, hey, here's a contract, electrical contract, but we also want you to install EV charging stations. So those kind of buckets are kind of the same. So that's your vertical integration. But you're always wanting to make sure that you look at what you're doing and you pick a niche that you're passionate about, because far too often entrepreneurs, and I see it all the time, they will start a business, right? They will start a business, and when times get rough, they'll walk away from it. And it's so crazy because oftentimes they're walking away from it right before that contract is ready to, they're about to win that contract. They'll stop too soon. Um, One of the say to me that you in life you're going to encounter ups and downs, and you're going to encounter problems, but it's how you look at it. The other day I talked to my students on TikTok about do the math, right? There's not going to things that happen in life may appear to be, people hate Mondays. I love Mondays. Why do I love Monday? For me to win. And that is what I teach my students. I teach my students mindset. I teach them how to win. For asking the questions. I thank you also for following me. What I see with my students, so simple that, a fifth grader can follow it, right? And so with my new contract winner here in Arizona, made it very basic, right? Business, and you set your foundation up. If you guys don't know, your foundation about this earlier can make you or break you. So if you don't set up a foundation that's able to surpass, 1 year, 2 year, 3 years, you're ultimately what? Gonna crash and burn. In my communities, right? We talk about that in school. We talk about that on YouTube and TikTok, making sure your foundation is set up. I know you guys remember I think it was the Three Little Pigs, right? The house of straw, the house of brick, I don't know what the other sticks, right? And the one that last was that house of bricks, because he thought about it. He thought about, hey, I want to be around for more than 1, 2, 3 years in business. So how do I set that up? Automation. Automation is the key. Building a strong team. That was one of the things that I would say was that clock alarm didn't kick me off, guys. But building a team probably was my hardest struggle. And the reason I say it was my hardest struggle because I was like many people. I knew I believed in me and I knew I could count on me. But believing in a team of someone to actually take something off my plate, I was really, really hesitant in doing that. But once I set and built a team, guys, game over, right? It was over from there, right? I understood how to utilize technology. I understood the importance of automation. I created a digital marketing company, right, to help my students also to automate their tasks. So when you're in government contracting, you want to make sure that you're reaching out to subcontractors, you're reaching out to primes, you're reaching out to your KO, your contracting officers, right? But you want to make sure that you're doing it in a consistent, systematic way. And so utilizing a CRM system is massive, right? And so I thought about the things that I needed after I created my strong foundation. Said, what could I build to help my students to utilize the same stuff that I use? And so I created a digital marketing company. In that digital marketing company, it allows my students to what? Automate the outreach, right? Because you can't go to a social event, right, where you're meeting contractors and subcontractors and primes, and you get their name and number and you just take those cards and you put it aside. No, you have to actually be able to take that information, that contact information, right, and put it in a CRM system to be able to reach out to those folks so that they don't forget you, right? And so that has to be systematic. And learning those keys, I actually learned those keys and tips early on in my journey. And I guess oftentimes, we have to remember that everything that we've experienced in life, it builds us. It makes us who we are. And so I actually, was born in Arkansas, right? I don't know if you guys even know about Arkansas, but Arkansas is an amazing place. It's the natural state. And so grew up on a farm, right? So understood the aspect of hard work, understood the aspect of doing unto others as you would want them to do unto you, right? And then from there, I went to the university, was in ROTC, was learning how to be an officer in the military. Then, went to Fort Benning, jumped out of a couple of airplanes. Then, guess what? Um, Desert Storm happened. Then served in Kuwait, right? And then, went and got my master's, then got my PhD, and all of those experiences, and then I'm a mom of four, all of those experiences shaped who I am today. And so a lot of people, they hate their experiences. They're like, oh, this happened to me and that happened to me. It's how you look at it. Everything that we do in life, guys, it shapes us and it builds us, right? It builds us into either an amazing person or a person that gives up, right? And I've met a lot of people, one person in particular that actually has an amazing skill, but he has people around him with limiting beliefs and a limiting mindset. And he was introduced to other opportunities, government contracting, social media, YouTube, and all of the social media platforms. And he started meeting people that were making money online. But I believe, it's very easy to get pulled back into the same bucket with the other folks because they're naysayers. But what I would encourage you guys to do, guys, because it's all around us, right? There's opportunities all around us in order to be successful and grow. If you want to grow, right? We are in school and we're reading Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill. And hopefully you guys have read it. I've read it so many times, but every time I read that book, I actually learn something new. Every time I read that book, I learn something new. So if you guys are wanting to join us, just go to school, SKOOL, the $1 Trillion Client. We're there. Also, we're also in Live Your Best Life Collective. Um, we're there. But Think and Grow Rich. It's the mindset, guys. It is your mindset. You have to surround yourself by individuals that either are reaching higher or have already reached and made it higher than you, right? Or that's on that same path as you. But the individuals that are down here, guys, that doesn't want more and that's going to be consistent naysayers, those are the people that you need to get away from. And so it's the mindset, right? It's the power of the mind. Um, it's affirmation, right? It's mastermind groups, right? You want to, and in government contracting, it is truly about the relationships, right? I actually won one of my largest contracts over, I think it was like $5.3 million because of relationships, because people actually saw me in the industry, saw me doing a good job as a female in energy management, right? So it's not that many. Especially black females in the energy management space, but they saw me and my team actually doing the work, doing a good job. And then they said, came to me and said, hey, I know about this contract at MARTA, right? And, are you a DBE? And that was like maybe less than 7 years ago, I became a DBE. So I know Douglas asked, do you have to be certified in order to win a large contract? You don't. This particular contract, though, was a large contract, and it did require me, if I wanted to work with the Department of Transportation, to be certified. And so, but it's about relationships. People seeing you do good, seeing you do the work, and then they said, hey, are you interested? Right? And I was not a DBE, but I was interested. I did everything I needed to do. And a night and a half, I actually had got everything done, my application. All I had to do is my um, wait on my appointment, right? Because they had to do a site visit. But it's about relationships, guys, and you have to create systems so that when you meet someone, that they remember you. And how will they remember you if you don't contact them, if you don't reach out to them, if you don't email them? Everything that you do in life, guys, you have to have a system. You have to be on a budget so that you know where your money is. You have to be able to make sure you have all of your certifications, your insurance. You have to make sure, of course, you're building a team, guys. It isn't about the team, right? You have to understand that you want to create businesses, right, that don't rely on you. You have to, I'm going to say it again. You have to create businesses that don't rely on you. You have to create SOPs, because what I see, I actually lost one of my assistants, and I own a home health care agency too. So I'm in the home health care field. I'm also in the project management field. So I own a home health care agency, and I lost one of my key personnel, right? And it's important to make sure that you guys are building SOPs, right? Um, SOPs, so that when you lose a personnel, that someone else can easily hop into that place, and they can continue to do the work, right? And so building your business the right way is important. A lot of people, they do tasks over and over again, and one of the big things people are talking about, they're talking about losing their jobs, and they're talking about AI replacing them. Guys, one of the things that I know is you have to embrace technology, and you have to not be fearful that AI is going to take your job, right? You have to create a job that AI cannot replace. Technology is so amazing, and I think you guys, and I'm very blessed to be living in this day and time, because things are easier. Doing research is easier. Working on a proposal that may be, 60 pages is easy now, because I can just take that proposal, upload it into Chat GPT, and when I do, it can analyze that proposal for me and let me know all of the key areas that I need to concentrate on, right? And it can put it in bullets, right? That's another thing that I share with my community, is I share my own chat, and I also created an app that we're still testing now. But the people that are in my community will get to use the app and test it to be able to make their life easier, and enable them to win contracts more seamless. So guys, contract opportunities are all around you, right? Build your foundation. Choose a niche that you truly, truly love. Something, again, that you can do for 6 months without making any money, and you won't get burnt out. Because, of course, in life there's ups and downs, and there's going to be twists and turns, but you have to what, be, love the thing enough to be able to stay the course. But as always, guys, I'm super excited to be able to teach you guys what I know. Again, if you guys are new, thank you so much um, for joining. Right, I appreciate you guys. If you guys are watching this in school, because most of my videos are in school, thank you so much for watching it. Always in school, make sure you leave a comment. Let me know what it is you're working on, and let me know also any challenges that you're facing so that we can help you. It allows me again to make content that will help you. There's no question that's a dumb question. So make sure that you're asking questions, right? Because somebody else out there may need to know that same question. Again, guys, it is the beginning of the week, right? You need to make sure that you're working off a calendar. You need to make sure that you're setting boundaries around your time. Your time is very, very important. You need to make sure that people are not calling you when you're working on a project, right? So make sure again you're working on your calendars, and you're staying on schedule. All right, guys. As always, this is your girl, Dr. Melissa J. Williams. Live your best life doing what you love. I love government contracting. I want you guys to stay healthy, happy, and God bless. I'll see you next in the next video and or lesson. Bye for now.